I feel like with everybody being on the ultimate quest to find what they're being passionate about and what they want to do with their life, I have finally, now after a 2 year break, roughly, yeah, pretty much a 2 year break, decided to pick my camera back up again, to get back into making videos, to get back into vlogging and creating content, because as much as I still think it's not really like, does this count as, yes, a hobby, but is this enough to be like the passion of a lifetime? I still doubt it, or maybe in a way I feel like I am not allowing myself for this to be my thing. But when I'm like asking myself what I am truly passionate about, what do I do, what am I interested in doing, even if nobody is like forcing me to do it, pushing me to do it, what am I actively wanting to spend my time on? It is these things as like traveling and like exploring, going to coffee shops, reading, further educating myself on art and culture and those things. And maybe it's not about one of those things in particular, but it's like this overall lifestyle and concept. And I feel like formats such as this, vlogging, can turn that lifestyle into a passion so great that it would maybe also even make it sustainable. Because with these individual passions of mine, I keep telling myself like, yes, sure, I love reading, but do I ultimately just want to read or just create content about reading? No. And I do love going to coffee shops and exploring them, but would I really want to own my own coffee shop? Maybe, but with a project like that, I also see like a lot of downsides, things that I already know I would not enjoy about the process. And in terms of arts and culture, which is something I have for the past 5 years in my like university studies dedicated myself towards, that is something that I continue to be passionate about. But at the same time, I also feel like I've spent 5 years studying all of this, and at the same time I know nothing, or like I know very little about a lot of things, but I'm definitely by no means an expert in anything. And choosing one of those topics to become an expert in just one thing is also like kind of daunting, and also such a huge project, because with anything connected to these vast topics such as history and culture, like when do you ever know everything? You will never know everything, of course, but when do you ever know enough to be considered like an expert, such as one of your professors at university might be? And that just seems to be such a daunting level of knowledge on a certain topic that I feel like, at least right now, it's unattainable to attain, because I'm reflecting and being like, I've already studied like all of these topics for 5 years, and I feel like I know nothing. If I want to become like an expert in Korean modern art, I feel like I'm starting from scratch zero, which seems frustrating because I've dedicated myself to this overall topic of arts and cultures for so long, and also like, where do I get the resources? How can I gather all that knowledge? And even when you're being passionate and truly interested in something, sitting down, having the dedication, and just like the concentration span, it's hard. And it seems like so silly to be like, oh my god, this is something I'm interested in, but still like time slips away, and then you are being distracted by your phone, social engagements, other obligations, anything. And you ask yourself, okay, where has that time gone? I could have already dived into that subject that I'm so interested in, but I haven't. And why haven't I? And how come I don't know more about this? And I don't know, it hurts into like this vicious cycle of maybe me also being very self-critical on like, again, how am I at this point in my life and I feel like I know nothing? I don't know. But if I'm not forcing myself to become an expert in just one of these things, you know, taking my love for coffee culture and cafes to like it, me being an expert in it, or like one of these niche topics in the arts and culture realm that I'm really interested in. But if I'm not forcing myself to become an expert, but I'm taking a format such as this and just like broad scale vlogging and talking about all of these several interests that I have, maybe that's also a format worth dedicating myself towards. And it would maybe kind of take this pressure out of it. Like, there's just this one thing, and I have to become the expert at it, and I have to know everything about it, which is in itself an unattainable goal. But if I'm doing this a bit more relaxed, like, hey, I'm just vlogging my everyday life, which I'm naturally dedicating to my interests and the things that I like to do that are always connected with like the arts and cultures and learning, etc. I'm not just saying that I want to do this to like get something out of it, because you can't control these things with like video formats anyway. Like, will anybody even watch this? I'm not saying that I'm doing this to gain views and thereby money or anything, but documenting it in this format makes it something more tangible, even for myself, because obviously I do know in my everyday life what I'm interested in and what I'm doing when there's nobody watching, what I like to do with my free time. But capturing these things on camera, also for myself to reflect back on, it makes them more tangible. It makes it seem like it is worth dedicating my time towards, and yeah, maybe taking this pressure that I'm giving myself out of it to become an expert just in one thing, and is helping me to just reflect, this is like the broad bandwidth of things that I am passionate about, that I'm trying to do just a little bit in or off in my everyday life, and hey, this is me documenting it. So maybe let's give this another go.